guys, Justin here with JHart Modelworks. It is time for another update. Yes, another update on the Revell Shelby Cobra 427. We are very, very close to having this finished. I would like to finish this one up this weekend. We'll see how much time I get this weekend to do that. But for right now, let's go ahead and get the camera flipped around and let's take a look at our progress. Alright guys, here we are. This is where we're at so far with the build. And the last time we spoke, we were talking about this hood here and how I had dropped it and then rolled over it with my chair. And that is just not salvageable. So I picked up another hood off of eBay and I painted it, and it matches after I painted it 5 times. As to the saga for why I had to paint this hood 5 times. The first 3 times I painted it, it looked fantastic. The red matched up perfectly, the gray matched up perfectly, the stripes sat perfectly. But as soon as I sprayed my first coat of clear, the red bled up through the stripes and completely destroyed them. All 3 times. I reached out to my buddy Diedrich. He's like, I'm pretty sure I gave you some intercoat clear, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, spray that after you spray the red. Let that cure up before you mask your stripes. Mask over that clear and then shoot your stripes over the clear. I'm like, okay, I will give that a shot. And that worked the trick, except for when I was masking the stripes off for round 4. The way I mask these off is I'll put a piece of tape on each side of the hood to hold the hood in place, but I did not realize that the hood had been kicked over to the side like this, and then I masked it down. So when I sat it down after painting the stripes, because I masked them perfectly, but I didn't realize that everything was kicked over, so I masked them over to this side, everything sat off to the side, like way off to the side, this way. Now by kicked way off to the side, we're really talking about a 0.5 millimeter. Maybe a little bit more, not a full millimeter, because this is a 1 millimeter stripe, and the stripe wasn't all the way to the side, but it was mostly over to the side, and it was all I saw. I tried convincing myself it was okay. I showed it to Gary and Diedrich, and they're like, it looks okay to me. It's only off by a little, but every single time I looked at it, all I saw was everything being kicked way out of line. So I stripped it again. And I sprayed it a 5th time. This time I made absolutely certain. So what I did was I sat this thing down, got it where I wanted it, put tape over the center, then taped the sides, removed the tape from the center, and masked it off so that I could make sure that the hood didn't slide while I was masking it. Got everything painted up. It looks fantastic, but there's so much play in here that honestly it sits funny no matter what, unless you just really position it where you want it. But that is the hood finished. Our interior is finished as well. I did go with the wine red seatbelt material. I did the harness on this side completely buckled up. I figure he doesn't get a whole lot of passengers. His side, however, is unbuckled and everything's loose in there, so that it looks more like someone uses this one. Because when you get out of the car after, driving, you don't put your seatbelt back where it goes. The interior is in place. Everything looks good. I am super, super happy with how that looks. I just am really happy. I did realize that I was missing a bunch of decals. Like I did not do the little decal that was on the end of the shifter or on the steering wheel. I also was missing the decal on the radiator. That little blue one right there. The alternator has a decal. The starter has a decal. The firewall has a decal that I can't show you because the hood gets in the way, and you can't really see it anyhow because I put it too far up. I should have put it all the way down on the bottom of the edge. But it's there now. I put it in there before I got everything put together. The radiator expansion tank here on most of these cars is gloss black. I decided that I was going to do mine in a stainless steel, and then I hit the cap with some of the Fusion Firm brush on chrome, let that sit for a couple of days, and then hit it with some of the clear coat. I also hit the tops of the intake funnels one more time with the Fusion Firm, They look really, really good. I don't plan on ever really getting my fingers in here and touching any of this again, so I'm not going to apply the clear coat over those. I don't think it really needs it because, like I said, I'm not going to touch it, so it's not going to get rubbed off. I am really happy. One mistake that I made, I put the ignition coil way back here. It's actually supposed to go up here in this corner. There's not one in the kit, so the kit didn't tell me where to put it. And I didn't realize that I had placed it wrong until I was looking at some reference photos later for the expansion tank. And I saw it was supposed to be up here in the front. It's a modified custom car, so we're going with that. So all in all, everything is in place. Everything looks good. None of this is glued down. If I want to, I can actually take this out, remove the chassis, remove the interior. I'm not going to because everything is right where I want it and I don't need it. But if I needed to later, I can do it. So one of the nice things about this kit is the chassis just holds it in place. The interior holds itself in place. You can leave it in there and leave it loose. Don't glue the interior in. Leave it loose. That way when you go to fit this chassis in, you can get your finger up here and wiggle it back and forth to get the clearance that you need to get the chassis to sit right. It's a tip that I learned from old Tom. I haven't seen him on YouTube in quite a while, but he did that, I believe, in one of his hot rods. He said leave the chassis out, but I've been trying it when I can, and it's a really helpful tip. If you can get away with not gluing the chassis in and it will eventually stay still, go with it. Our wheels are for the most part done. I do not have the knockoffs in yet because they are 3D printed and they are fragile. I don't want to get them in and then end up, breaking them while trying to get these on or trying to build something. Some part of the build, I end up breaking them. So I'm going to save those kind of towards the end. But our wheels sit in just like this. So those look great. So we went with Alclad Magnesium for the wheels, and the chrome is some Duralumin Tough Chrome. I then sprayed it with some Alclad Aqua Gloss just to protect it because it's not as tough as they would like you to believe. I still rub the chrome off. Speaking of the chrome, pretty much all we have left on this build is chrome and clear parts. There's a lot of chrome. Going to put you on shaky cam for a second. All of this is chrome parts. Some of them I have 3D printed, so there are some spares like the rear view mirrors. But this is almost all the chrome. This does not include the wheels, which are already done, and the windshield frame, which is over there to talk about in a second. So there's just so much chrome in this kit, but this is pretty much the bulk of what we have left to go on the build. Now, some of the kit parts are 3D printed and some of them I have modeled myself, such as the rear view mirror. I always print spares. I'm not a fan of the kit's rear view mirror. They've got two of them in the kit. One is a rectangular mirror that is supposed to be this mirror, but it lacks all of the detail. It is really just a rectangle on a stick. The other one is supposed to look like the outside mirrors, the wing mirrors, and it's shaped kind of like a much narrower version of the bullet side mirrors. I don't really like those either, so I printed up some of my bullet side mirrors, and I 3D modeled these based off of the actual Cobra mirrors that have this kind of arm, and it had this bracket on the back, and I did the best I could to get all the details. It's really just a piece of mirrored glass inside this frame with a bracket around it that attaches to a swivel. So those are my rear view mirrors. I've also 3D modeled the quick jack for the front and rear. These are the mount points. They're kind of like the bumperettes. Now the main reason I 3D modeled these instead of just using the kit ones, one of mine was a short and one of these didn't actually get molded all the way. And I just really didn't like where the mount points were on the sprue. They were in a place where if they had mounted them here to these, you could cut them off and they would be fine. But they mounted them, one point was up here on this end and the other point was up here, and they were messed up. If you tried to cut them off, they would be very hard to paint. because most of this post is actually visible. So you can't just hold it by that post. You've got to actually repaint all of it. And just the mount points were terrible, so I 3D modeled my own. Something else I 3D modeled, because I didn't like where the mount points were, are the front turn signals. I did a bunch of spares. You guys know I always make a bunch of spares when I print stuff, because sometimes things don't survive the printing process or the cleaning process, or you lose them. So rather than spend a couple of hours printing another set later, I just print up some spares now. These are Tamiya's clear orange straight over the chrome. These, I took the silver display marker and painted over the bulb section, only the bulb section, and left the rest chrome in place, and then painted the clear orange over that, and it gives you a brighter turn signal there. So I'm not entirely certain which of these I really want to go with. I'm kind of torn because I like both looks. These are the kit's rear lights, and they kind of have, I think they look a little brighter, so I'm probably going to go with the display silvers as opposed to the chromes. I think I'm going to go with these. As I mentioned, I 3D modeled and printed my own bullet side mirrors. These are available on my Colts 3D page because at the time, nobody was doing these. And it was hard to find them in a kit, and you didn't really want to steal them from a kit because then you'd have a kit with no mirrors. So I used to scratch build these. They would look nowhere near this nice. 3D modeling and printing just gets a really nice mirror. Again, these are available on my Colts 3D store. Something else I 3D printed but did not model myself. Sean from the Scale Model Car Guide channel at one point in time was doing an 1/8 scale Jaguar E-Type, and he asked me to print him up some stuff. Some wheels and a couple other things, and one of them was the fuel cap. And that fuel cap is actually the Cobra style fuel cap. It's the same flip top type cap as is on the Jaguar. So I went ahead and just scaled them down and printed them for this car as well. They are more detailed. They're a little bit crisper on the detail than the kit's fuel cap. And of course we have our exhausts. These were done by Black Box STL on Colts 3D as well. And they come with two different types. You've got the smooth muffler, and then you've got this one that has this guard over it. This is like a metal guard that would sit over the actual exhaust tip. So this was supposed to help reduce the chances of you burning your leg. It didn't really reduce the chances of you burning your leg. Instead of burning your leg on the muffler, you burned your leg on the guard, but it would be a less severe burn. But I really like the way those look. It's something that you don't see very often because, again, it's not, the original kit is not like this. It's just the smooth pipe. So I really like the way those look. I think those are going to look fantastic on the build. Here's our windshield frame. Again, some of the Duralumin Tough Chrome followed by the Alclad Aqua Gloss just to make it easier to handle. The windshield sits really nice inside this chrome. I have a problem though. My windshield has a crack in the glass, and it is fairly noticeable. I believe it may be a surface scratch, but it's pretty thick. It looks like it goes at least a quarter, if not halfway through. I believe it's on the back side, and it looks like the glass just fractured where that little nub was. The odd thing is, because there's a little extra bit that comes off of here that you're supposed to cut off, normally something like that would happen when you're cutting the nub off. This was already cracked before I actually cut the extension off. So I don't know why it was cracked. And there's not a spare one on eBay anywhere. I'm not going to buy a whole new kit just for window glass. I'm probably going to try and sand this down. If I can sand it down to at least a reasonable level, maybe I can stick like a decal over there with like one of the Cobra decals or something, make it look a little nicer, like he's got like a Cobra Club sticker or something. Hopefully I can sand it enough that it just completely gets removed and I don't see it at all. Just sand all this out and polish it back up. That's the goal. My alternate plan This is not perfect. You can see there's micro fractures in it from where I was bending it to get it to follow that curvature. Some of the glass did not like it, but it doesn't look terrible sitting on the car. So I put some Tamiya tape on the original window and created a mask. I then applied that onto some clear plastic and cut a new window, which does fit. It looks pretty good. There's no noticeable like major gaps in it. Like I said, the only thing is that there are micro fractures in the glass itself from where I was trying to get it to curve. Sometimes clear plastic just does not appreciate that. But for the most part, when it's sitting on the car, you're not going to notice those. You're not going to really notice them unless you really get some light up on it. If you're shining a flashlight on it, those might show up. But for the most part, this is my plan B if sanding and polishing the original window doesn't work out. Alright guys, that is going to be a wrap for this video. Like I said, for the most part, there's not a lot left to do. Just sand and polish out that glass, see if I can salvage it. If not, you know, we've got a plan B. Then just do all the chrome and the clear, and we're pretty much going to be done with this build. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I always appreciate you watching the videos and supporting the channel. It really does mean a lot to me, and I will catch you guys on the next one.